Hi friends, today I will be talking about adaptive cards in Copilot Studio in context of Dynamics 365 F&O. In Copilot Studio, adaptive cards are platform agnostic UI snippets designed using JSON that allow you to enhance conversational experiences with rich contents and interactions. They are used to display information, collect your inputs, and make conversations more engaging and user friendly. Adaptive cards are often used in Copilot Studio to validate information from the customers, to ask questions, or simply to enhance the conversation experience. In today's episode, I will be talking about using adaptive cards to talk to Dynamics 365 F&O data, fetching data from D365 F&O, or insert and update records in D365 F&O. Requesting you to watch this video till the end and like and subscribe to my channel just in case if you have already not done so. Yo, okay, so here is one example where I have created a topic called update release product name, whereby I am going to use this topic to update the search name of a release product. And so for that, what I have done is that I have defined a trigger phrase. This phrase is what? This phrase is containing definitions like updating the search name of release products. And so whenever the copilot is going to encounter a prompt like this, it is going to understand that it is going to be activated. So in the next step, what I'm doing is that I'm calling a flow, which essentially gives me the list of all the items, And for that, what I've done is that I've defined a flow like this. Let this get loaded. This flow is a very simple flow. And this flow, if I get inside this flow, this is what it's doing is that it is accepting the legal entity as an input, and it is passing on the AAD token, which I'm basically getting from by calling my login.microsoftonline.com slash the tenant ID endpoint. And from there, I am getting the token, which I'm going to forward in this step called get item numbers. So just for our example, I am passing on the top 10 numbers, the first top 10 item numbers, and I am obtaining this item numbers as a list by selecting just the item number in my requested URL endpoint of my OData. So I'm just calling the OData endpoint by saying select equal to item number, whereby it's going to return only the list of item numbers. And as you have guessed, like I am passing on the bearer token like this, which is a variable which I'm getting from the previous step. Then when I am getting this list of item numbers, I am calling a GPT prompt. I'm calling an AI prompt, a Power Platform AI prompt, which looks like this. I'm clicking on edit. Let this get loaded in the meanwhile. And so this is the prompt. It's a very simple prompt which I have designed like this. So I'm passing on the JSON that I'm getting from the uh, above step above step, which is going to give me the list of item numbers, and I'm passing on this JSON, and I'm saying, can you fetch the item number from the following JSON and create an array out of it. The response should look like item 1, item 2, like that. I've just given it an example. Remove every other, all other unuseful stuffs from the response and just make it very simple. So if I click on test, it will just give me the response which I am expecting. Yes, the response looks like this, like it's a comma separated string, and this is exactly what I was looking for. I am going to pass on the JSON from the above step, which is going to be the list of the items in JSON format, and this is going to grab that input and transform it as a comma separated string and return it back to the calling flow. And in the last step, what I'm doing is I am responding it back to the calling copilot. So I'm saying in the respond to Copilot, I am returning this response which I'm getting from the GPT prompt, and this is what that's, I'm saying that prediction output slash text. So in the prediction output slash text is where this the result of the execution of this previous steps lies, and I'm returning it back to the Copilot. So we have to remember one thing, like this I have done just to make the whole calculation simple. But yes, you can also go ahead and use another way to take out the list of the items. Say for example, you can create a compose action, you can create a table action, you can create a select action from this above step and create the string of the items and respond it back to the Copilot. Just so as to make the things much more easier, I am making use of an AI prompt to convert this into a string. Okay, so let me go back to the topic. And in the topic, what I'm doing is that I am storing this in a string variable called item number str. It's a string variable, and I am loading the response from the flow into this string variable. Now, as you can understand, like my response was an array, right? If you remember, my response was an array, and I am, but although it was an array, it looked like a string. So I have to convert this into a table. So unless I convert this into a table, I might not be able to use in my subsequent steps, which I'm going to show you why I'm saying this. So I have to convert the string into a table. So to do that, what I'm doing is that I'm making use of a variable value. I'm making use of a set variable value, and I've defined a variable called item number array, which is of type table. And to convert the string, the comma separated value, the comma separated string into the table, I am making use of this formula. So if you click on this arrow, and you'd see, like, I am splitting the item number str with the comma. I am splitting that value into making use of the split function, and it is going to convert that into a table because of that. So essentially what this will result is, so essentially, it means if I have a string like this as an input, and if I make use of the split function, so essentially it's going to convert the input into a table like this. So where I have an item ID as the table header, and with item 1, 2, 3, and 4 as its the value or the rows of this table. So this is what I'm exactly doing by using the split method. So I am just canceling this and coming back to my topic. So here, this is where I'm going to make use of the adaptive card. So adaptive cards, you can insert adaptive cards by simply clicking on this add node, and you can ask with an adaptive card, just as this prompt is saying, or you can click on the send a message, and then in the send a message option, you can click on the add option of out here, and you can add an adaptive card out here. Okay, so as I've already added my adaptive card, I'm not adding it once again. So I'm just deleting this and coming back to the adaptive card. So what I've done is that it's a very simple adaptive card. So adaptive cards, if you click on this adaptive card, you'd see this, and here if I click on this expand sign, I would be able to see what is exactly doing. So I'm clicking on this type is equal to adaptive card. Schema is this link with this, which you can see by clicking on follow link. When I'm not doing this, version is 1.5. You have to keep in mind, like, Dynamics 365 F&O can understand till 1.5. The best version it can understand is 1.3, but here I'm selecting 1.5. But if you select 1.6, it won't be able to register the various controls, the various contents of the adaptive card. Okay, so I'm saying text block and then the name of the adaptive card header. So the header name is product update form, which you can give any name of your choice to make it more relevant to the user. The size is large, which makes it the heading of the adaptive card, and the weight is bolder, which makes it bold, and the style is heading. Just as I was saying, it's a heading. Okay. Then comes the important part of the item, adaptive card, where I'm saying input dot choice set. So here, this is what it makes it looks like a drop down. It makes it looks like a lookup, and I am giving a name like this item ID. The name of the control I am giving as an item ID, and the style is equal to compact. So if I say compact, it is going to result in a lookup with a drop down kind of a structure. Okay, and I'm giving a label like this select product, and is multi-select equal to false, which makes it not to select more than one item at one time. And then I'm saying for all topic dot item number array. If you remember, the item number array was the name of the table variable which I defined in the above step. And I'm saying title is equal to the value and value is equal to the value. What does it mean? This means that whatever tables values were there, I am looping through all of them. So for all is a very useful function of power fx, which converts or which loops through all the rows of the table that you are selecting, that you are passing, and you are thereby selecting the value means by default the item number array, the variable that you are passing on as as a value, as a variable to this method. It is going to strip off each and individual content of this variable and adding that to the title and value variable of the choices. So this choices is what choices makes it the components of the drop down, and it is going to essentially make the user select a particular item, a particular item ID, and use it to do the rest of the stuffs. And then I am doing what I am then using a new item name. So as I was saying, this adaptive cards prompt is going to get hold of one item ID and update the search name of that item ID. So I have a product number which I'm getting from the above step as to here, and then I am going to give a new name to this product, like I'm saying, please enter the product's desired name, like that. And I'm saying action.submit as a button. This is going to add a button to you, and I'm giving a title as submit, and the style is equal to destructive. So this is an optional figure. This is an optional choice which I have said style is equal to destructive. You can ignore this. If style equal to destructive means this is going to give a color to the button as red. So if you don't specify anything on the style, it's going to be a normal, button color of the normal UIs of adaptive cards. So I am now going to go back to the designer of the topic, and I will show you how this adaptive card actually looks like. So you see, as I was saying, destructive has given a color like this, submit, and this. So if I close this, let me close this quickly, and you see, like, this is because of this. The style is equal to compact, as I was showing you. It should look like a drop down like this. So as I have not run this, it is showing as an item number dot array, which is the variable that I'm using for this. So in the next step, what I will do is that I'm getting hold of the outputs that I'm getting from this step and assigning them as variables. So action submit ID is the name of the button which I am using. Item ID is the name of the item that I'm going to select, and new item name is the name or the search name that I'm going to assign to the release product. So with all these variables, I am getting these variables values and assigning them to local variables like item ID, new item name, like that. And then I am going to update the release product's search name. And I think you have guessed it right. Again, I have to use a Power Automate flow to update the release product name. What I'm doing is that I am calling this action, this as an action, I'm calling this Power Automate flow, which if you click on this view flow details, you'll be able to see the content of this flow. Let this get loaded. And this is my flow. If I get into this details, so it's saying it's basically accepting the item ID and the name. And as usual, I am just obtaining the AD token. And again, I am passing this AD token to the HTTP endpoint call. So in the HTTP endpoint, I am doing a patch activity. So patch activities are what they are used to update any record, any OData JSON record. And I am basically passing on the bearer token that I'm getting from the above step. And then in the body, I'm passing on which particular field I want to update. So in our case, this field is product search name, and I'm passing on the name that I'm getting from the input of this Copilot. And so if you look into this very carefully, I'm saying the product number is equal to the item ID, which is nothing but the input from the Copilot, and the cross company is equal to true. So you have to remember this, like as this products V2, this OData entity doesn't have any data area ID. I am not passing the data area ID in my in this bracket. Else, if it is having a field like data area ID inside, if it is not shared data, then you have to pass along the data area ID as a parameter to it. So once you have done that, I am responding to the Copilot with the status, like if it is updated successfully or if it is not. So if it fails, then only I'm going to send across a failed message like that. Just to make these things very simple, I am not using any if then else. I'm simply passing on the updated successfully this response. And if I go back to the topics, I would be able to see that I am capturing the result of the execution and displaying this back to the Copilot. And in the last step, I am ending the conversation so as to reset all the variables. So if I run this, let's see what it does. So I have asked here, can you update a release product's name? So it is basically processing. And then this step comes up, this lookup, this in this lookup, and with the new item name, it is coming up as a card. This is what the adaptive card looks like. And inside this drop down, I'm seeing all the list of the items that are basically available. So I'm selecting this M003 and giving a any name like this. Say for example, I'm giving a name like new product taste name, and let me submit this and see what happens. And it's saying that updated successfully. So if I go back to Dynamics 365 and reload this items list, the release products items list, so I'll be able to see this is how it has updated new product taste name. Okay, so it was not able to accommodate this because it was the number of characters exceeded it, but that's okay. So this is how it basically works. So you can call your items list, you can call your vendors list, you can call your customers list, like in this strategy, and you can update them. You can do any kind of fields change by using an adaptive card. So this was the idea behind it. And in the same way, you can ask the Copilot to give the details of a purchase order for a given vendor. So if I ask the Copilot like this, can you list POs for a vendor? And let's see what the Copilot says. It's saying, can you tell me the vendor for which you need this info? So I give the vendor's ID like this. And then let's see what it says. It's asking for the legal entity where I want to find this. So I'm giving the legal entity, and let's see what it does. So you see, it's basically listing out the list of the purchase orders that are available for the vendor. And this is essentially an adaptive code which is used in a tabular format to return the list of the purchase orders that are available for this vendor and for this legal entity. Let me ask one more question, which is another adaptive cards example. Can you provide an employee details? So if I say this, so let's see what the Copilot response now. It's saying like, can you tell me the employee's personal number? So I'm giving the employee's personal number as this, and let's see what it responds. So it came up with a very small example of a small card of of the employees details. So it's giving the name, email, and the official address. So you can obviously, I took just three fields. You can keep on adding more fields to make the information much more relevant and pertinent to the user. So like this, you can extend adaptive cuts in your business to make the interaction much more livelier, much more UI based experience, so as to make the user much more interactive. With that, let me take your leave, and I'd request you all to try these examples at your end and let me know how it goes. Feel free to reach out to me just in case if you need any assistance. And these are my coordinates whereby you can reach me anytime. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel and never miss an update. Much love and namaste, Subhashish.